I have mentors. I'm a postdoc. I still need mentoring. I think I'm going to continue to need mentoring throughout the rest of my career. And I have 5 mentors right now. They're all in different areas. So I have one in music education. The other one is in physical medicine and rehabilitation. I have one at the neurology department, one at the molecular biology department. So, you know, just try to find people that can help you in different aspects. You know, if you need to figure out if you want to go into science or not, try to find a person in that area that you can somehow relate to that will help you try to figure out where you want to go. And sometimes you can't do that from one day to the next. So maybe trying to meet with someone, you know, once a month or something like that, or once every 2 months, and having the possibility of writing someone an email and say, look, this is where I'm at right now. I didn't know what I wanted to do last month, but I'm starting to identify, you know, that I'm interested in memory and learning, and I wanted to see if we could meet up. You know, so that's, and then you can sort of follow up. You'll see that after 6 or 7 months, you might have a broader idea or a more specific idea of where you want to go. But finding mentors and asking people for advice is a good way, and just clearly telling people that you know this is your situation, this is what you hope to look for, and just talking to people, you'll see that you'll get a lot of ideas. And you'll be surprised with the ideas, and you'll start to be able to get creative and think about where you want to end up.
I think the summertime is a great time to be doing all this exploration, especially here at Michigan, where you guys have 4 full months off. You know, you can easily do 2 months, you know, say studying abroad, and then 2 months working in a lab, seeing if you do like research, or you can get a job, you know, for 2 months. In Detroit, working with a homeless shelter or something like that, some nonprofit close to home. Or, you know, say you're interested in business, you can get a 4-month job with some firm somewhere. There's a lot of opportunity. You know, go shadow on a week during the summer with a doctor, with several different doctors. If you want to look at medicine versus surgery versus different specialties, in the hospital, out of the hospital. You know, all this sorts of stuff. The summer is really a great time to do it when you don't have to be having school hanging over your head.
Or trying to find different labs where you can rotate. So one of the cool things for me about doing the master's was that we had 28 weeks of rotations. So, you know, you could split your rotations however you wanted. So it was a year of just coursework, and then the second year was essentially rotations. So we were exposed to different people, we had different lecturers, and then we thought, okay, you know, these people are interesting, their research is interesting, and then you can just go to their labs and spend, you know, 2-3 weeks in their labs at a time, or longer, however, it depends on if you like it or not. And then try as many different labs as you can, and eventually if you try 3-4 labs, you probably will find 1 or 2 that you're really interested in. So that's a good idea. We had a student come in for the summer like that, and he was going back and forth between this lab and a different lab, and eventually he chose the different lab because it was, you know, he started to realize that he wanted to do teaching long term, and the sort of things that we do are very pricey, and you can't establish that in a small university. And so, you know, that was the decisive factor for him, but we wouldn't have known it if he would have not joined the lab for rotation. So.
It's completely okay to change the labs. You know, there's nothing wrong. There's going to be no hard feelings. And,
nobody's
you know,
going to be angry.
No one's going to be angry. You know, I had many students that just came for a couple of months and then they left. And I have a student who actually worked for me for 2 years, and now she's technician in my lab. Yeah, and she's applying to med school. Yeah, and it's just what you like. You know, you may not know what you like. You're at the stage actually it's great because you don't know what you like, and you're supposed to find what you like and just go out and do it. And we are here to facilitate. And we know that, yeah. So.
There are a lot of associations at the U of M. There's undergraduate research opportunity program. That's a great resource if you can go, you know, talk to someone there and try to figure out if you can get a summer rotation with them or something like that. That's an excellent resource because they will pay for your time in the lab. And so mentors are usually very happy to get students from there. You will be able to work on a small project. You have to submit your abstracts, your proposals. You have to prepare a small poster. Then, you know, they have an award. I think it's twice a year. There's Association of Women in Science. They always have panels for like career directions and workshops and so on. So there are a lot of resources at the university. So So try to check out what the resources are, and look at the newsletters, see what's coming up, and go to seminars, go to a lot of seminars. If you have a chance to go to research seminars, just random seminars, even if you are in research right now, just go to a lot of different things. Even if, like, I don't know anything about biophysics, and I went to his seminar, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. You know, so you have to keep an open mind and try to gather as much information as possible. So.
Also, there are, if you would like to spend summer someplace else, there are RU programs outside University of Michigan, sponsored by NSF, that actually you can apply for. And actually, if you are junior, this is a great time to apply. Juniors, seniors, maybe sophomores sometimes. You can apply all over the country, yeah? And go to for 2 months. They're usually 10-week programs, and you know you can choose a nice place and a great research group. And also those, if you do that, those are great people to write you again recommendation letters. They're amazing people to write recommendation letters. So we have, of course, those RU programs also here at Michigan, a lot of them, and the programs you were talking about. Many of them, for example, don't take. That means I am a director of Biophysics RU program, but we cannot take Michigan students because that's how it's set up with NSF. We have to take the students from outside. They don't want us to take our own students and just pay ourselves this way for a student. Yeah. But all the universities are in this shoes. Yeah. So you can go. You know, there are really hundreds of them. You can go to NSF website. It's interesting. And then you kind of do two things with one stone. Yeah, maybe you are in a nice place. Maybe you want to go someplace, and you do great things.
Or if you don't want to commit for such a long time, just email people here and say, you know, find professors that you're interested in at the university. Email them and say, can I come into your lab? Is there somebody? Do you have a grad student, or is there somebody or a technician that I would be able to shadow for a day and, you know, talk to them a little bit about what they do and what is, you know, what goes on in the lab. And you know, hopefully some people, if you send out enough emails and people are not extremely busy, they probably will write you, and they'll say, you know what, yeah, I can put you in touch with my graduate student. Why don't you email them directly, and then, you know, get together and see what you can arrange. And then, you know, you have a chance to go to a lab without having to sign a contract, and without having to say, I'm going to devote my whole life to this. You just sort of go, try it out, and if you love it, it's great. And if you find a great lab that's willing to host you and sees your motivation, because essentially you're not going there for a position or anything. You're just sort of going there because you're interested and because you want to see what they're doing. So, you know, if I have to choose between a student that's applying because, you know, they need to apply or it's a requirement, or a student that just contacted me out of the blue because they think what I do is cool, you know, who am I going to choose?
And be persistent. Now I'm looking from other technical point of view. We get a lot of different emails, and we may love to reply, but we don't.
Don't be too persistent.
Yeah. And it's just send an email again after a week. Yeah. It's don't take it personal. You know, we get hundreds of emails per day, and when they scroll by, you know, down the screen that you don't see them, you just forget about it. It's your life. You're kind of fighting it. So just.
We can answer any other type of questions as well. Yeah.
Could you guys take us to like an average day or week that like kind of like what you guys do and how much even free time you have to do other things other than your work, like extracurriculars and stuff you enjoy, or other stuff you enjoy?
I think that varies according to your level of where you are in your career, doesn't it? It varies a lot. So we should probably start with you.
Yeah. So second year in medical school is a bit more intense than first year. And first year was pretty intense. I tell people when I'm describing it, it feels like you're in finals week, you know, the entire semester. But it's one of those things where they really do a good job, here at Michigan at least, easing you in.